Thank you very much for all of you for being on the call tonight. And I really hope that you will walk away with a better understanding on how to tackle that big job, planning through your planner and using your planner at its best. And as I mentioned before, this is the first one for the year, and there's another 11 webinars like this or Zoom calls like this to follow. For those of you who don't know anything about me, I know most of you know, but a little bit about end planners. Well, it came about almost four and a half years ago, in the middle of divorcing and trying to stay afloat and raising two children and having a business, because I've been in direct sales for more than 10 years now. I was looking for a great planner, and all I could find were half measures and not real solutions, and planners that were too big, too small, and all those other issues. So in the end, one of my gorgeous friends just said to me, "Shut up and make one." And so I did. And the end result is this amazing business called End Planners, that brought me so much more than just selling a planner to anyone and everyone who needs a good tool. But the coaching side of things took off about 2.5 years ago, and it's just growing. And it's such a beautiful thing to be able to help others use the planners at their best and regain precious time, because in the end, time is our most precious commodity. So here I am, and I think, except for Toddy, everyone has a planner on this call, or a planner on the way on this call. So I really hope that you will get a better understanding of how to use your end planner. Now, before we will jump into that side of the things, let's talk a little bit about time and how we can create time, because in the end, that's probably one of the biggest issue that we have. And this is what I hear on a regular basis, things like, I don't have enough time. I feel like I work all the time. I just can't fit everything in the day, and so on. And those who work with me, they all know that I always point out that there is enough time for everything. And before going into it, because tonight will be all about the planner, I just wanted to reinforce again that it all comes down to those three things that interact with each other. It comes down to your choices, to your priorities, and your goals. And my model and my madness around this is that these three do interact in a very organic way with each other. And it doesn't matter where your awareness lies. If you know what are your choices, then those will generate priorities, and those priorities will actually generate a set of goals, or will feed into a set of goals. If the choices are good, then yay, of course you will walk towards your goals. And if your choices are not aligned with where you want to go, then of course the priorities and the goals will just not going to be aligned with your goals. So it doesn't really matter what you do, as long as you find yourself somewhere on this model. And doesn't matter which one, where your awareness lies. If you can identify any of these three areas, you can work towards aligning everything else together. So if you make the right choices, they will generate the right priorities, and of course they will feed into the right goals, and of course the right goals will generate your next set of choices. And I always use the TV analogy, and some of you have heard me say this quite a few times. If you decide to sit in front of the TV and watch TV, that's a choice. It is what it is, but it is a choice. And if you do that will generate a set of priorities. As long as you are aware of the fact that is becoming a priority, nothing's wrong. It's okay to watch TV if you want to watch TV and if that's the priority. But also you have to be aware that priority will generate a set of goals. It might not be aligned with your business, and it might not be what you really want to do, but it will actually create a goal, and the goal will be around leisure and fun. So whether you like it or not, you have to be aware of these three. And I think the biggest takeaway from this is that we have to be quite aware of what's happening around us, and trying to be present in what we do, and trying to be present, not just for ourselves but for our environment. Often we make the big mistake of living in constant disruption. You know, you cook a meal and you think about business, and then you sit in front of the computer or doing something for your business, and your mind is wandering around your children and your family, and what you think you are supposed to do or not supposed to do, or the wash, or the cooking, or the shopping list, and so on. I think the biggest gift that you can give to yourself is to be as present as possible, in the present and in what you do, because that's when you can be the most productive. So please don't beat yourself up if you sit in front of the TV. Rather, instead of feeling guilty, just enjoy. And if you know that time is limited, then put on a timer. There's nothing wrong with a good old-fashioned timer. And use your tools at their best, because I think there's really nothing wrong, and we need to be able to switch off and to enjoy life and to be present in fun and leisure. And of course, living in constant disruption is not helping in any shape or form. It actually is sabotaging us on so many different levels. But I'll stop here and let's move towards how to use that planner at its best. But I do believe that planning is the process that turns dreams into reality. And I do believe that without proper planning, nothing really happens, and it's really hard to achieve your goals. And what would you use to actually do that planning? I think a planner used at its best is your best accountability tool to use to achieve your goals. But talking about planners, before we even start, I really would like to point out a few basic things around tools, because even though you have a good planner, you still need a couple of tools before you even start doing anything. First of all, you need to decide what you prefer to use in a planner. Are those pens, pencils, highlighters, sticky notes? It's really important to have clarity around what are your preferred things. Now, for those of you who don't know, there's this amazing thing called erasable pen and highlighters. Anyone heard of them? Zamora is jumping up and down. Obviously, she heard. Kylie is dancing. Yes, Kirsten. Oh my God, they saved my life. Let's put it this way. In saying that, there's a big danger with erasable pens and highlighters. If you forget your planner in your car, and the car is in the sun, and in the car it's about 70 plus degrees, then be aware that everything will vanish from your planner. Okay? Linda just froze. No drama. There's a remedy to everything. I just want to point out, because you need to know this. It's a technology that is working based on friction, which means that based on heat, it will vanish what you have written. So just be aware that it can vanish. The flip side is that we all have freezers. Anyone has a freezer? Yeah, cool, great. Then just chunk your planner in the freezer and it will actually solve the problem. The only thing that you need to know is that it might bring back everything that you erased, not just the last layer, but it's better to have something back than nothing. In saying that, one of the biggest things that I usually talk about when it comes to tools is, and I'm not sure if you can see my image or not, but it's this amazing pouch. If you don't have a planner pouch, make sure that you get one. There's a couple of reasons why. A, it keeps you organized, because in my planner, there's always my planner, my idea book and my tiny pencil case with the colors and the pens that I use on a regular basis. And what's amazing about this planner pouch is that if you have children, you can say no touch. Anyone knows that feeling when the colors vanish from around you, and then when you need them, you can't find them? So it's a great way to keep everything in one place and stop the family touching the tools that are the most important when it comes to your planner. Also, it's an easy way to just grab and go. And it's easy not to forget it in the car, because it's not just a planner, it's a decent pouch and it goes everywhere where I go. So I definitely would suggest that if you don't have a planner pouch or anything like a planner pouch, then make sure that you get yourself one. There's tons of different options out there, pretty and non-pretty, blend and non-blend, whatever. Just make sure that you find a way to keep everything in one place. Now, there's another big thing. Some of us do have businesses where meetings are changing very quickly. Don't forget that sticky notes are really useful, and don't be afraid to use sticky notes if that's the case. If you walk into an Office Works again, you will find hundreds of different ways and brands and solutions to that. Some are very thin, some are thick. You can cut, you can do a lot of things. Also, I use sticky notes about this size and sometimes the half of this size as urgent to-do lists that are in my planner, and it's the best thing ever, because once they are done, you just pull it out of your planner and throw it in the bin and it's gone. You don't have to stick and collect the stuff that you have done and dusted. Also, the last bit on before we start is the planner care pack. Now, here's the thing about the planner care pack. You don't have to have one, but if you have one, then just watch the video I posted on Instagram. It will show you how to apply the sticky pouch into your planner, and of course how to apply a ribbon to your planner. And Linda just did it today. It's one of the best things that you will do. Now, some people ask me what's better, to use ribbons or tabs, and some people are asking me for ribbons or tabs and other solutions as a base offer with the planner. Now, here's the reason why the planner comes as plain as it comes. And it goes back to my philosophy that it has to work for you. I can give you ribbons and you might be a tab person, you know, those little sticky tabs that you stick on the side of the planner. Or I might give you tabs and you might say, nah, I hate tabs, I'm much more a ribbon person. So I think the best and the easiest way to actually use something that works for you is to work out what you like, and then use that. I love ribbons. Why? I don't even know why, but I do, and it's just the simplicity of transferring it. I have ribbon on my planner that is probably 4 years old, and it just goes each year into the next planner, unties at the top, and it gets tied onto the new planner. But also it gives you the freedom to play a little bit and pretty up your planner. So don't be afraid to use a bit of stickers or colored ribbons or I don't know, colored tabs, anything that actually speaks to you and makes life a little bit more colorful. Because in the end, we have to love our planner. If you don't love your tool, you will not use your tool. It's that simple, or at least that's what I found over the past few years. I hope this gives you a little bit of a base on what you need to do before you even open your planner. Now, you all know, or most of you know, that I always talk about the 7 steps to plan your planner. And I won't go deep into each step because that's going to happen over the whole year. And as I mentioned before, today I was meaning to talk more about legend and maybe a few other things that are related to how you use the planner. But we will talk a little bit more about the legend. Now, before you say, oh gosh, can I save this screen? Can I have a shot or whatever? Well, if you open your planner right now, on the first double page, no matter what kind of planner you have, first you will have a little bit about the end planner and important dates and so on. And on the right hand side of your planner, you will find the 7 steps to plan your planner. Now, what you see on the screen, that's a beautiful visual representation of those 7 steps that are in every single end planner. So please don't despair. It's always with you. It's always in front of you. All you need to do is just read and just work with it and apply it to yourself. And of course, because it is the most important double page in the planner, or not, but I think it is, at the bottom, under the 7 steps to plan your planner, you will find your legend. Now, I really, really want to talk a little bit about the legend because I think it is one of the most important things you will do for yourself. Yes? Who spoke? No? Okay, someone has a baby in the background. Not sure who. Anyway, so please raise your hand if you have a question. It's really important. Don't let me just go on because I will just shoot through the whole thing. So please stop me if you have any questions at all. Now, the legend. Why do I think that this is the most important bit? I think if you don't have clarity around what needs to go into the planner, you will not be able to plan properly through your planner. It all starts with sitting down and having a think about what's happening in your life. What are those most important priorities that need to be in front of you all the time? What are the big areas of the life that need to be represented in your planner all the time? Everyone is different, and whether you believe it or not, about half of you on this call have no kids. So your priorities and your legend will look totally different to someone like Kirsten and myself, because we have children and our life revolves around them. Or you might have grandchildren, which is again a totally different stage of life. But what's really important is to first stop and think about what needs to be represented in your planner. What do you need to keep an eye on? And once you've done that, there's a few base principles on how you can actually mold everything into a legend. I know some of you might straight away say, oh, but I'm not a visual person. I would have been probably that person about 7 to 8 years ago. I would have said, I'm an auditive person. I remember everything I hear. Yes, but as human beings, we are still visual creatures. And trust me on this. And if you don't believe me, then just simply take away your vision for half a day, not half a day, an hour, and see what happens. See how much we depend on our eyes and on that visual information that surrounds us. Trust me, it is the most important thing you will do for yourself. It also, a well-done legend will represent and will reflect your business. It will reflect who you are and what are your priorities and where you are, at what stage you are in life. It's really one of the most important things that you will do. And a good legend will be aligned with your vision, mission, and your values. I always talk about the fact that the colors that you choose for your planner have to reflect your brand colors. If you have a business that where you've done a lot of work and you spent a lot of money in creating a beautiful brand that represents you, you definitely have to use those colors that represent your brand in your planner. Why? Because A, you reinforce your brand in front of you and in front of anyone else. B, you put your brand out there in another way. People will see your planner. They will. And of course, the third thing is that it has to resonate with with who you are and what you want to represent in the planner. So it's really important to choose wisely your colors. And I know Kylie will laugh at me straight away because I always say, don't choose a color that you hate. I mean, seriously. If you don't like orange, please don't use orange, for heaven's sake, because you will never stick to it. You really need to use colors that speak to you and that actually mean something to you. So make sure that you think it through before you start it. Now, here's another big thing. Once you created your legend, please stick to it. Don't change it every week. Don't change it every month. I would even say don't change it for a year, at least a year. If you didn't like it and it didn't work for you, then a year from now, you can actually change those colors again, and we can go from there. But make sure that you don't jump between different legends at different times, because it will create confusion. And also, by being consistent through the planner, you are creating a tool that will tell you exactly what's happening in your business. It will be your best accountability tool, and it will be a tool that actually can tell you exactly what your numbers are, and it will help you do consistent reviewing of what's happening in your life and in your business, and how this interaction actually works. And it will show you whether there's a balance or not. So make sure that you stick to your colors, because it's quite beneficial to have that view at glance and to have that information all the time in front of you. So what do you need to do? Just like I said about 4 or 5 minutes ago, please first of all decide on your tools. Decide what you want to use, whether they are pens, highlighters, pencils. I don't care what you will use. Just decide what you want to use in your planner. Even if you need to change the tools, try to stick as much as possible to your colors. So sometimes we think that we can deal with one way of doing things, and it turns out that it's not the best for us. I still would suggest, if possible, stick to your colors that you decided for in the very beginning. The second thing that you need to do is start writing down all the main activity circles from your life. Things like family, business, workshops, kids, I don't know, you name it, whatever. You might have 2 or 3 businesses that you run at a time. Write down everything that pops into your mind that you think that might need a representation in your planner, and then start grouping them in a smart way, like with like, until you are left with no more than 5-6 categories. Why? Because there's this little rule, the 5+2. We can't really deal with more than 7 things that we have to remember at a time. So if possible, keeping it under 5 is the ideal thing to do. Also, when you have, let's say, 3 children, from the perspective of your planning, please trust me, it doesn't matter which child's activity you have to attend. They are as important. Make sense? So try to actually keep it as simple as possible. This is why in my planner you will literally find 4 colors. That's all I have. 4. It's more than enough. One is what I call unmovable. And it's a really interesting thing, because people say to me, oh, you don't put yourself in a separate category. I did. In the beginning, I had a separate color for myself, just because I thought I need to do something special for myself to, to track my new habits that I started to create, until I realized that since it was called me and not unmovable and not family, I literally traded my own time easily for anything else. So if I needed somewhere another half an hour, I would trade my walk, or I would trade my time with my kids. I would trade my own time into something else. So this is why I started to think about what can I do to stop that, and how can I be more mindful about how do I take care of my own personal time. And I know most of us being women, you don't have to be a mom. We all do this. um, we trade our personal time first. So this is why if you open my planner, you will see that there's a pink color, which originally was family time. Now it's called unmovable. And I do treat it as unmovable throughout my planner, because it's just important to take care of yourself and to take care of your boundaries. And that is how I set my boundaries. And then, of course, the second color is for my end planner business. The third color is for my side hustle. You can ask me later if you want to know what I do as a side hustle. And of course, the last bit is what I call the floating color. In my case, it's still networking, though this year it will probably be shifting towards tracking what's happening on social media and being more mindful about my marketing strategies. So just because I find that that's where my attention needs to shift, and that's what I want to measure. But this fourth color in my case always means something else, and it is always about things that um, that need a bit more attention, and that I need to see exactly what's happening, because time is our most precious commodity. And for example, when you're networking, it's very easy to be lost in the sea of networking events. It's very easy to overcommit, and it's very easy to overspend. So it's up to you how you want to use this color, but I find that it's quite useful to have a floating color that can measure things in your business. Now, once you have your main categories, then make sure that you record them in a legend. Now, the three biggest mistakes I see people do when it comes to the legend is having way too many colors, choosing the colors that mean nothing to you, and of course, overthinking it. Less is more. It's really, really important. Now, what I would love to challenge you, because this month is this month's main topic is all about the legend, is once you've done it, if you don't mind, and if you are part of the End Planner Anonymous group, then please go on and take a snapshot of your legend and post it, and let us help each other. And I promise, if I see something that I think can be improved, I will be in touch with you on other avenues, and I will let you know what I think. Of course, if you like that feedback, but it's nice to see that it's done and it's there. And trust me, if you've done it once properly, it will stay for years and years and years. It's just a brilliant way of working this bit out once. All I do nowadays is I open my brand new planner and I actually transfer the legend from last year into this year, and that's it. That's that simple. If you've done it well, it will stay with you for years, unless something major changed. But even then, that usually is a nice little addition or a tweak, but you don't have to redo it ever again. So just make sure that you do it the right way for the first time. So if you don't mind, I would love to see your legends in the groups, and post them, and let's see. Or if you feel like it's way too personal, then please don't be shy to actually send me a message with it. I would love to see your planners, because everything starts with the legend. Now, this is going to be a fairly quick run through. If you flip a page in your planner, the next bit that you will see is a vision board. Now, without going into how to use a vision board and what to do with a vision board, I guess many of you know what a vision board is, and why it is important. I would strongly suggest don't skip it. This vision board in your planner is not necessarily all about pictures and images. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. It can be something as simple as writing down a thought that will lift you throughout the year, a favorite quote, your values, your mission statement, your vision statement, anything and everything that can pick you up when you feel down. The vision board in your planner is all about it's literally all about picking you up when you feel down, and when you don't have motivation to move forward, and when you ask yourself, why on earth am I doing this? So there's amazing workshops around how to create a decent vision board, and next month we will talk a little bit more about it. But the third step is your year at glance, and I guess this is the first real step when it comes to planning, and this is why a wall planner. This is where a wall planner really helps, because your year at glance, even though it's not too big in your planner, it's probably one of the most important things that you will do. Now, mine looks something like this, for those of you who sure can see. It's Don't skip it, really. Without doing a proper yearly plan, you don't know how much productive time you have. It was enlightening. We had this chat with Kirsten that she realized that she has 1 day per week to really work her business now that she has a part-time job. Between family commitments and the job, it's it's really, really important to have clarity around how much productive time you have. Without doing this, you will not know that. Once you've done it, you need to work out how many working weeks you have each month. And I think Kylie had a big aha moment at our 2-day workshop when she realized, oh my God, I've never done it properly before. Seriously, don't skip it. Put in all the things like school holidays. You might not have children, but your clients do. Seriously, don't be afraid to actually mark these major things in your planner. You might not love horse racing, but many people do. So there's another week gone from your life in business in November. You might not be religious, but many of your clients probably do Easter, which again is almost a full week gone from your life. And there's all these things where you need to know when and in what way can you be productive, because there's things that you can do in those times when everyone else is off and you can't reach them. So you just have to be smart with your time at hand, but you don't know how to be smart with your time unless you actually look at your year at glance. So I strongly suggest don't skip it, just go with it, and make sure that you use this double page and create a base plan for your year. Now, setting your goals, again, I'm not going to talk too much about it because it is probably a full workshop on its own. Why is it necessary, and what do you need to do? Sit down and work it out. I always say that when it comes to goal setting, one of the most important things is that you need to have a bit of clarity around your budget. And I know, again, as women in business, we don't really like this word budget and money, but it's really important to have clarity. Also, especially when you are in a business that is MLM, where the focus is shifted from money into group volumes, personal volumes, overall volumes, all these volumes. Every product has another number attached to it. It's really easy to lose sight of the most important bit, which is the end result, your commission, the dollar sign. So make sure that you have that clarity. And when you work out your goals, you don't just work out your goals based on the ranks that you want to hit, but based on what your real needs are as a person and as a family. So just make sure that when you set your goals, you look at your goals from every single perspective. But I do believe that good quality goal setting starts with having clarity around your budgets. And if you need help with that, again, there's a lot of good workshops out there, and of course I can help in some ways too. And don't forget that there's a difference between a goal and a vision. Please don't put goals on your vision board, and don't put vision board items in your goal setting sections. If you open your planner and you flip from the here at glance, you will find yourself in front of a double page, which is your big things I will achieve this year, which are your yearly goals. And even though there are 12 boxes on that double page, it's not a goal for each month. These are your overarching big goals. Okay, you might have one, you might have two, or you might have 7, or you might have 12. I don't know where your business sits, but just make sure that you have clarity around the fact that that double page is not about a goal per month. It's literally just a space to record your overarching goals. Also, what you will find, especially in the newest planners, is there's a little tick box at the top of each box. That tick box is designed to tick it off if you've done it and if you've achieved it, because you might have goals on this page that will not take a full year, but they will take, let's say, 9 months. So they are not a quarterly goal, but they are not a full yearly goal, but they still have to be somewhere. So this is the place where you want to put those type of goals too. So the tick box is there to say, yeah, I've done it. And the percentage sign is there to acknowledge that you've done a part of it. You might hit the end of the year and you didn't achieve the whole goal, and you will have this feeling of, oh, I didn't do it. And what we do, we get the big stick and we start beating ourselves up. Now, instead of doing that, no laughing there, it's true, it's what we do. So instead of doing that, sit down and assess how much of that goal you actually achieved. Is that 10%? Is that 20, 30, 50, 70, 80, 95? It's still not a tick box, but it's so close. And how cool is that you can acknowledge how much of that goal you achieved? So make sure that you use this double page to have all your goals in front of you. And then you have your quarterly goals. If you flip one more page, you land on another double page, which is on the right or left hand side. You will have again boxes for your goals. Now this time these will refer to 90 days. Each quarter has a double page, and of course on the right hand side you have your reflections page, which probably is one of the most important pages that you will fill in. And please do it. I mean, seriously, do it. Don't skip it. Do it. Do it, because it's really important to acknowledge what worked and what didn't work. Just by thinking about it and by writing it down, you are one step closer to finding a solution for next time, or finding a solution on how to achieve it, or how to rejig it so that you can achieve it in the next quarter. Also, it's really important that if you do this double page properly, it will prompt you to think about where do you need help. If you are in direct sales, it might be some regular calls with your upline, or if you are in business, it might be a business coach, or it might be just some self limiting beliefs that a couple of sessions of whatever your preferred way of getting rid of them is, but it will prompt you to think about how to solve the problem. And that's really, really important. Also, it actually allows you to think about what you are grateful for and how will you celebrate. And again, celebration doesn't mean that you have to do something huge. Having a glass of wine or a cookie, or just giving yourself permission to sit for half an hour doing nothing. I mean, exactly nothing, is just a great way of celebrating. You do not have to overthink it, really, seriously. Just make sure that you acknowledge that this is because I've done something, I achieved something. So just make sure that you use this double page so that you help yourself in staying on top of everything. So after the 4 quarters, you will kick the real deal, the planner. It always starts with the month, a monthly view, and then it rolls into the weekly views. Now, with this, what I really want to point out, where are we? Yes, working with your goals. It's the next level. Because if you've done your yearly goals and you've written them down in your planner, and then you broken them down into quarterly goals and you've written them down in your planner, the next step is to find out what your monthly focus is. And you'll find that each planner either has a specific kind of goal setting, which, for example, for the Wellness Advocate Planner, it has special spaces for your volumes and what else? Kirsten, help.
So
Products of
for
the
your,
month,
yeah,
rank advance, and so on. So there's a lot of things. And if you open your planner, those of you who have an end planner for Wellness Advocates, so you're the oily ladies on this call, then make sure that you use that checklist on your monthly view. It is specifically designed for you guys so that it actually keeps you on track and helps you build a successful business. For those of you who are like me, and we have a generic, good old-fashioned business planner like Linda has, Katisha has, who else is on this call who has a normal planner? Caroline has probably, I think Lee. Anyway, so for those of you, just make sure that you use the goal setting box at the bottom of the page, which is on the left hand side, usually at the bottom, except for the awkward months where we have more weeks than usual. And there's always 3 boxes. Why? I think there's a lot of information out there, but I find that when I can identify 3 big areas that my focus is on in a month, that usually helps quite a lot, and it helps me stay on target, and it helps me not to spread too thin, if it makes sense. So I also have a little trick. Not sure if you've seen me do it. I'll try to find a colorful page. But I use color. Surprise, surprise, I still use color. I actually, and even on the screen you can see, I use the specific colors that are related to that area. If it is my end planner business, then it's green. If it is my side hustle, sorry, it's purple. If it is my side hustle, then it's green. And if it is all about family or myself, then of course I use the pink. And I do color it in because it actually helps me see, and it drives my eye to the right type of goal, and it helps me when I check in with my goals, and when I check where I am in the month. I also like using a bit of color on the double page too. Some of you know that I use this double page as a budget planner. I'll just skip this because it's too long, but it's part of creating the plan, what we're talking about. And it's all about using your colors, and this is what we do on everyday basis virtually. So now that we have the legend and we need to transfer this into real life, The monthly view can be used in many different ways. Those of you who have a lot of workshops or classes and so on, it's a great way to create an overview of the month. It's not for detail, it's really just to give you a sense of what your week, your month would look like, something like this. It's really just an overview. I still again suggest to use color as much as possible because it will help you see if there's a balance between the different areas in your life, and it will help you realize if something is really out of proportion. I also use this double page as my budget planner. I really like to see my numbers. It is the double page that I usually don't show to anyone because it's none of anyone's business how much I pay for my electricity, my gas, and what what other kind of bills do I have. But yes, I like to actually have this, even though these things are automated in my bank account. There still has to be money in that account when the deduction happens. So it's just a great way to keep track of where money flows, I guess. So just make sure that you don't forget to fill in your goals and actions at the bottom. It's really important. Now with the week, again, that's where the whole magic starts, and that's where the colors kick in. And the use of the colors kick in. Now, there's a few things that usually people ask me. One is, what is the event line? You know that top line at the planner on the weekly view? The event line is not the left-hand side column. It is that line with the little arrows at the top. Now, the purpose of that line is to give you a space to write anything that will affect your day, but it doesn't stop your day on its tracks. So for example, things like a birthday, school holidays, shift working partners, you name it, anything and everything that would actually, you have to be mindful of, or you have to remember, but life doesn't stop because of it. Does that make sense? So it's really a great space to mark things in your planner. Also, you will notice that in the end planner, you will not find all the public holidays on the right days. And the reason is that we have a lot of states with a lot of different agendas when it comes to public holidays. And I found that it just takes up too much time, and sometimes it's not relevant to one person like it would be to the other. So pick and choose the ones that are relevant to you and put them on this event line, because that's why it's there. It's there to actually help you note things that are important for the day. Also, don't forget that at the bottom on the right hand side, you will find your goals and actions again. Now, once you know what you will do during what your focus is for the month, then you can actually work towards breaking it down and creating viable, doable goals and actions for the week. And I find that if you skip this bit, you will always have that empty feeling of, oh, something's missing. And I find that when I'm not writing anything in my goal setting section, the week goes by like that, and I don't even know where did it go. But I also say, and I usually point out this to anyone and everyone who works with me, that if you didn't write anything down, that should tell you something. If you wrote something down and it's not relevant to what happened during the week, that should tell you something. If you ticked off your boxes before Wednesday, that should tell you something. It's really a great way to keep you on track. It's a great way to make you set your bar higher or lower it if you need to. It is just a fantastic space in your planner to keep you accountable. But it's also a great thing to be in front of you every day that you open it and tell you, oh, I kind of thought that I will actually nail that online course. Did I do anything about it? Nah. Is there any space in my planner reserved for it? Nah. Well, I need to change something. So make sure that those goals and actions are actually aligned with what's happening in your week. Because if it's not, then something's wrong and you need to bring everything to the same page. Also, there's a lot of little things that I do, and I will just get on and talk a little bit about how, even though we will go a little bit over time, I'll talk a little bit about how do I build up my weekly view. I always start with my unmovable objects, and just to, for the sake of the argument and just to show you, these are just made up pages, but it will help a little bit. If you have kids, the easiest way is to put in and book in things like school pickups, school drop-offs, kids activities, and so on. Things that actually are recurring on a weekly basis. I also suggest that if you have recurring activities every single week, go on and put them in as long as you can, as far as you can. So if you know that you have I don't know, dance every week, then put in dance every week, at least a month in advance, but sometimes even more. The same goes for recurring activities within your business. So if you know that you see your accountant once a month, book it in advance, put it in. If you know that there's networking activities that you do on a regular basis, they usually are on the same day every single month. Go on and book them in advance as much as far as you can. Why? Because this is how you can avoid double booking. And there are also there are things that are part of your business. Once you've done that, then you can start finding your time. And if you haven't thought about how many hours you want to work in a week, then now is the time to start thinking about it. And just be aware that if you want to earn big bucks, you probably need to put more hours than if you want just to keep a hobby business. It's okay. Both are okay. You just need to know exactly how much time you are ready to invest in your business. If you have more than a business, then you need to work out how much time does one business take up and how much time the other business takes up. Some of you might even have a part-time job. You need to start with putting in the part-time jobs or the full-time jobs in your planner, because that will define what your week looks like. It's really important to put these things that are recurring first in your planner, because they will create the structure of your week, the rhythm of your week. Trust me, everyone has some sort of rhythm in their week. Once you've done that, you can really work out and start time trading in order to fit everything else around it. Also, people ask me, why do I like highlighters? One of the reasons why I like the highlighter is because the highlighter actually makes me create buffers in my planner. So I tend to make sure that I draw that box so it gives me 20 minutes to half an hour between two appointments, because appointments usually tend to run over time. And if not, you still need to stand up, go make a tea or a coffee, or just simply walk around, because it's part of healthy living that we need to stand up and take care of ourselves. So just make sure that you don't create appointments that are backed one after the other, just because and this is the other thing. I mean, if you would work somewhere a 9 to 5 job, you would still stand up, you would still go and have a coffee, you would still have a chat with your neighbor, you would still do all those little breaks. You just when we work for ourselves, we kind of forget that we're human beings sometimes. So make sure that you allow yourself those little buffers between appointments. Also, I use a wicked little system to help me point out the exact duration of something, and I use these arrows on the side. This it's not a real life example, but the point is that I usually put a line on when the appointment starts and I draw an arrow until the exact appointment lasts. If it is an odd time, then I even write down the exact time next to it, because it just helps me with knowing exactly what's happening. So that's pretty much the way that I use, and I start building up my week every single week. Now, there's a few tricks. One is always plan to plan. So make sure that you actually put in a time slot for your weekly planning, because if you don't, then you will end up saying, oh, I didn't have time to actually do my weekly view. Seriously, it has to be in your planner. After a while, it will become a habit, but make sure that you plan to plan. The other big thing that I usually suggest is don't grow to-do lists. You remember I was talking about the sticky notes? There's the smaller version of it too. I tend to write down all the to-dos. I actually dump them on a piece of paper at the beginning of the week, and then I group them. And once I group them, I assess how much time it would take, and then allocate time for them straight away in my planner. So I stick the sticky notes in my planner. Why? Because like this, they are not a burden that just lingers throughout the week. I know exactly when those jobs will be tackled throughout the week. Do you see the difference? It's a huge shift in how you look at your business. Also, when something happens and you need to change things, it prompts you not just to get rid of it, because I mean, you have to put somewhere that sticky note. It's all about time trading. It's all about finding another spot for those things that you were meant to do in that time slot. And this is where I say that it's okay to have a coffee with your neighbor from time to time, even though you didn't plan to have it. It's okay. As long as you open your planner and you look, yeah, I was planning to do social media content this morning, but you know what? I'll have that coffee and I'll do that in the evening. Yes, I know I won't watch, let's say, what's on TV now? I don't know. Anyway, so you sacrifice something for it, but straight away book it into a different spot. Also, it will stop you from taking a tea or a coffee when you can't. It's that simple, because it's in your planner, it's already planned, it just gives you the freedom to say no. And I can't emphasize enough how important that little word is. Uh, Anyone who worked with me knows that I'm a big fan of this word, no. You need to assess and make sure that you know how to say no when it's needed. It is part of setting healthy boundaries, and it's part of helping you keep on track when you have to. Now, I hope this bit helps a little bit, because it is the core way of using a planner. But I guess when I say that you need to fill in your goal setting section, this is what I mean. Reviewing on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis is vital when it comes to your business. If you've done your weekly planning the right way, then looking back and adjusting your plan to what really happened is key, because it will tell you exactly what's your real hourly rate. It will tell you exactly where do you stand, how much of your goals did you achieve. Is there a chance that you will miss on your goals? Is there a chance that you will achieve your goals? Having reviewing as part of your life is just the quintessential thing that you will do for your business. It tells you so much, and a good planner that is conducted properly, it's really, really important. So before we go to the last bit, let me check the questions. Lee, what is the legend top left of daily page? Phone tick. Well, that's just whatever you want to do with those left side boxes. I use them as essential to-dos. It really, it can be a phone call that you have to make. It can be a to-do. It can be an email or a newsletter that you need to write. It's really, it's up to you what it means. And not sure if you heard in the beginning, the event line refers to the line under the dates. Okay. I kind of have a rule. If I fill in the left-hand side with to-dos and I have two little sticky notes or one big sticky note in my planner, then that's pretty much it. Anything and everything that needs to go on a to-do list will have to shift into the next week, because I know for sure that I will not do it anyway. So what's the point in actually overloading with to-dos? So I usually either trade, if it really has to be done, then I will put it in, but I will take away something that will go straight into the next week. So I strongly suggest don't grow a to-do list, because it doesn't help. Okay. Does that answer your question, Lee? Yes, no? Also, we can actually yes. Lee, does that help?
It's actually this little part here that I was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
It's just a prompt for to-dos, nothing else. Nothing else, really.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
No worries, my pleasure. Anyone else has any other questions about the 7 steps? Yes? No? Quiet. Let's see if I can unmute everyone in one shot. Some of you have muted yourself, so any questions? No? Great. So then I'll wrap it up quickly because we are a little bit over time, about 10 minutes. What next? If you find that all this is overwhelming, and I know it can be, and I'm really sorry if it is, but it can be. I know it's not easy, and it's a big job, especially if you are a first-time planner user. Then keep in mind that there's a lot of ways to work with us, with Kirsten and myself. First of all, of course, you all have end planners. Just keep in mind that they can be customized to special needs, and there's quite a few different end planners floating around, like the Wellness end planner, which is specifically designed for wellness advocates. But if you know anyone who is just a busy mom and needs a good planner, then the Life and Wellness planner is probably the right choice. And also don't forget that there is a calendar year version and a financial year version, depending on how your business operates. For example, my planner, if you would open it, you would see that I am pretty much halfway through the year, because I do have a financial year planner. I find that it is a lot easier to operate with Christmas in the middle, and because Christmas is one of the busiest times for me in the year, is just a great, easy way to navigate through this period, having it in the middle of my planner and not at the end of it doing a transition into another planner. But it's up to you. It's personal preference, and it's pretty much it has to work for you. Now, what else? Now, if you feel like you need a bit more, because this was quite fast-paced, and we just scraped the surface on how to use the planner. I do workshops. Of course, don't forget that every first Monday of the month, we will have a 30-minute Zoom call with tips and tricks on how to make the most of your planner. And I will try to tackle issues and problems and things that come up with every single area of the 7 steps in these workshops. But if you want something more, then there is a blueprint to life work harmony that is run in person. It's a half-day workshop, especially for the people who are in Melbourne. I'm so sorry for if you are interstate and so on. Let me know if there's a real interest, and we'll work out something. And of course, there is the big 2-day planning workshop, which Kylie attended. And I might even let her say what she got out of it. How about Kylie? Tell us what, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I've been working on and off with Gildy for over a year now, and the 2-day workshop was just a really intensive, really get rid of all the crap, the distractions, and really head down, bum up.
Oh gosh, it was.
It was, yeah. So I totally nailed my year at a glance, which has been absolutely vital in me planning out my business for this year, because I'm working at full time for the first time this year. So it's gonna be absolutely amazing. So I also set some really strong foundational goals for the year as well, based on that 2-day workshop that I'm proud to say I've started implementing already.
Awesome. Thank you, Kylie.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
So the 2-day workshop is really all about planning, and it's not me talking. It's really um, doing. It's very little talking. It's more about helping you use the planner at its best and create a plan through your planner, so that you have an accountability tool throughout the year. And the next one is going to be in February. Stay tuned for dates and things. It's I think it's the 22nd and the 23rd of February, but I will be sending more dates and things in the next week or so, once everything gets finalized, because January is a planning month for most of us. But yes, so there's ways to connect, and there's ways to work. And of course, if you feel like you are in Kylie's shoes, and you want more, and you want to a little more help on how to plan, there's the Time Fix program, which is pretty much a 12 months program, and it all starts with a discovery session and then a fast track intensive step-by-step 12-week time management coaching program. And the whole point of this is to reset and help you look at time from a different perspective, and work out the workout ways to help you become more productive in your own special way, because I find that everyone's time management is different. And trust me, there's about 25% of the population that thinks similarly to you. So trying to make you do what I do will never work. So I think everyone needs to find their own truth when it comes to time management. And I'm all about helping you on that journey, and helping you change the way that you relate to your own time, because it all starts there, and it is our most valuable commodity. And then, of course, there's heaps of stuff in this program, beginning with an end planner, access to free workshops, online courses, and of course, monthly follow-up calls, and a supportive care program after those first 13 weeks, because the real work starts after we finish working, we finish the bulk of the work. So just make sure that if you feel like it's important, and it would help you a little bit, then just let me know, and let's have a chat, and let's see if it is for you, because it's just an amazing journey, I guess. So that's pretty much it from me. What's that? Yeah, I don't know. Residual bits. Yes, special offer. I didn't intend to show this, but hey, if it's there, it's there. If you decide to jump online and jump on this program and work for a full year with me, then it is $200 a month for a full year, and that's pretty much roughly $6.50 per day. So it's quite fun because we worked out that's a fancy coffee in Melbourne. But if you really want help with change, then please reach out. There's the email address, website, phone number. Please feel free to give me a call anytime if you need help. Also, don't forget that social media is a powerful tool, and be part of our groups. There's a special group for the Wellness Advocate girls. If you are a wellness advocate and you're not part of the End Planners for Wellness Advocates group, then please make sure that you find it and you send us a request to be part of it, because I think it's really important, and it's a great supportive group. Am I right, Kylie?
Mhm.
Yes, you have to say yes. Thank you. And of course, Kirsten is the main instigator in that group, and she's the caretaker of that group, because she does understand doTERRA as a business from every single angle. And of course, the End Planner Anonymous group is there. Even if you are a wellness advocate, please be part of this group too.
Mhm.
It's just a different angle, and slowly this group will become even more active over this year if everything goes according to plan. I think Linda is part of it. You're not. You should be. She's saying no. Okay. But if you're not, then please become part of it, because it is just a great group, and I will be sharing more and more information and tips and tricks, because it is a community, and it's all about helping each other grow businesses through our planners, and finding better ways and ideas on how to maximize the use of this amazing tool, your planner. So thank you very much for being online tonight. I am forever grateful for having you here. It's just a beautiful way to see so many passionate ladies on the call who want to learn a little bit more about planning and planners. And if you need help, just reach out, and let's see how can we help you. And yeah, so let's get you an extra 10 hours a week. So I'll stop the recording, and